Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and finally we can sit down and say that the transfer window is closed. There will be no more Celtic transfer talks for now, not until January at least, which means the dust has settled and there's only one more thing to talk about this weekend, and it's the very, very small matter of a derby tomorrow afternoon. Yep, let's talk about that. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. One more time, can I just say thank you to everyone for your support throughout the entirety of the transfer window, through the entirety of the summer. You guys have been absolutely magic, so I hope we keep that going. The momentum has been great. We're well past 40k now as well on the channel, so let's keep that up. Let's keep going through what's going to be a tricky international break to navigate, but I'm sure we'll have a laugh anyway. So like and subscribe, it's very much appreciated. So, this is a really weird derby that we head into. Usually heading into the first derby of the season, there's a real excitement and there's a real sort of energy surrounding it, because it's the one that really sets the tone for the upcoming season. You know, this is only, match day 4 in the Premiership, and having these games early on really has an opportunity to kind of dictate the tone and see who's on top heading into the league season. I'm not saying that this game isn't as exciting as usual, or there's not a lot riding on it or anything like that, but what I am saying is the story of this game seems to be the battle of who's worse. That seems to be the message going into this, because so far both teams have started their respective campaigns pretty poorly. On one side, you've got Celtic, who have been knocked out the cup to the hands of Kilmarnock, who dropped points against St Johnstone at Celtic Park. On the other hand, you've got Rangers, who lost in the opening game to Kilmarnock, have been battered 5-1 off of PSV Eindhoven, scraped by Morton in the cup. Both teams have really, and being honest and level-headed about it, if you look at it from an outsider point of view, if you're wearing a Hearts shirt or a Hibs shirt, an Aberdeen shirt, you're looking at Celtic and Rangers right now as if they're both there for the taking. You know, you'd be confident facing any of the two of them at your home ground any time right now. So it's a really weird one heading into this derby, because I feel like it's been a long time since both teams have head in kind of flat and not really performing. But that's really been the story for both teams. This game really represents a chance for both teams to change the tone of their season, because as frustrated as some fans are on either side, I think whoever wins this game, there's going to be a real confidence that comes from it. And obviously, as a Celtic fan, I've got to talk about that in the Celtic point of view, the Celtic perspective. This is huge for us, and we really need a win in this game, because I think a lot of fans have been really bogged down about the last couple of results. Some fans have been really underwhelmed with the transfer business this summer, and some fans still obviously aren't fully on board with Brendan Rodgers. This game could help shift the tone big time should Celtic not only go out and win the game, but put out a good performance. And that's really what Celtic need, because Celtic need to improve at Ibrox tomorrow. They need to be better than what they have been in every game so far this season. Don't get me wrong, I was okay with the first couple of games. We scored 7 in the opening too, but the performances overall across 4 competitive games so far have been flat from Celtic. There hasn't been a recognisable style. They seem to have lost all their identity, and really the struggle in adapting from what Ange Postecoglou was doing to Brendan Rodgers has taken longer than what all of us would have wanted, and that's for many reasons. Big part of it is, of course, because we knew that this was going to be tough on Rodgers coming in after the man that he left. He had to win back supporters pretty quickly, but also just because you want the reassurance of still being the best of the best, being the top team in the country, which Celtic well and truly still are, but you want the proof of that on the park. So it's not only about winning at Ibrox tomorrow, and I think that anybody will take a win in any fashion, by hook or by crook, by a glorious dominating performance. I don't think people really care about what happens as long as we win the game, but a big performance, a lot of goals, and an old-fashioned Rodgers-type Rangers game would really help shift the tone from what has been a very sort of pessimistic bunch of Celtic fans to start the season to maybe a more optimistic bunch of Celtic fans heading into this campaign. One thing that we need to see a big change in tomorrow is the style of football. And obviously you're asking quite a lot for things to just be precise and polished, and the final product for a Rangers game, for a derby. You know, it's not going to go from what it was last week against St Johnstone to the final product in the space of a week against your toughest opposition. But we need to see clear improvement. We need to see vision in what Brendan Rodgers wants to do with this side, because I think that's one thing that has been lacking in these last few games. Yeah, we've been bad, but there has been a real worry about what we're actually trying to do. You know, like if we were losing points, if we were drawing games, being knocked out the cup, but we were doing it with a clear image of what Brendan Rodgers wants and a system that was maybe just unlucky on the day, it'd be a lot easier to take. But there's been none of that. It's really been a lost sort of philosophy, it seems, in the last few games. It's like they've sent the players out and have hoped for the best, and no one's really knew what to do. So there has to be a clear system tomorrow at Ibrox. There's absolutely no denying that. And you can't really stress enough how important a win is, because fans need that. I've seen a lot of people talk about how happy they'd be with a draw this weekend, and a draw would be a good result considering how bad we've been playing. And listen, it's actually hard to argue that. I think that if Celtic were to draw the game tomorrow at Ibrox, a lot of people might just breathe a sigh of relief. But ultimately, that's not the position you want to be in as a Celtic fan. You don't want to be talking about draws being a good result against Rangers. Every result that you have against them, you want to be a win. And I think that needs to be stressed on this occasion, because Rangers are there for the taking. They haven't been great. And at any other point of time, you would be expecting Celtic to batter them tomorrow. You'd be expecting 3, 4, 5 goals, because they've been that bad. You watched them against PSV on Wednesday night there. They were hopeless. And that's the kind of thing that you should be kind of chomping at the bit at. You know, we should be really, really excited. But instead, we've got people talking about how good a result a draw would be. And once again, it's hard to argue that, because the way we've been playing, I think that, as I said, sigh of relief, leaving Ibrox with a point. But if Brendan Rodgers has done his work correctly with the squad over the past week, I think we should just be talking about a win tomorrow. I don't think we should consider a draw. They haven't been great, and we need to take advantage of that. We need to take advantage of the fact that their morale is, I would say, lower than ours. You know, and I'm trying to say everything with a level head, as always doing these games. But the fans at the other side of the city have not reacted well to the start of their season. Michael Beale is under quite a bit of pressure from certain elements of the support. And PSV on Wednesday night showed all the weaknesses are there. And those are the weaknesses Celtic should be taking advantage of. So, yeah, we're going to talk about the opposition in a minute, but I really want us to go out and just think about winning. None of this drawing is a good result stuff. Now, as always, we always do a little bit of an opposition preview sort of thing. We look at the form of the opponents we're coming up against on these match preview shows. And with Rangers, of course, they haven't been too great. As we've touched on, they lost that opening game to Kilmarnock in Europe. They've drawn a few games, one against Servette, one against PSV. They then lost quite heavily to PSV. We know all about their form. We more want to talk about what they're actually doing on the park and what Celtic should expect. However, one thing I do want to touch on very quickly is, of course, Rangers are going through this sort of rebuild. They're in a very similar situation to where we were a couple of years ago, in the sense that a lot of players have left, a lot of the old guard have left, and they are bringing in a lot of new faces. You know, that's the kind of position we were in a couple of years ago with Ange. But one thing that I can't wrap my head around, and this isn't a dig at Rangers fans, because it's more the media that are building this, they're like portraying this image. Why are people acting as if Michael Beale's been in the door 5 minutes? Why is it like, oh, remember Ange had a start like this? Ange lost 3 of his opening 6. Michael Beale's been here since November last year. He's managed 3 derby games already. He's not just in the door. Yet the media and all these people on TNT and BBC, they keep painting this same image that he's been here for 4 or 5 games and it's going to take time for his style to come through. And Rangers fans are irritated at how long it's taken for Beale to have an identifiable style as well. But yet the media keeps saying like, oh, Ange this and Ange that. It's not even remotely close. Yeah, it's similar in the sense that a lot of transfers have taken place over the summer, but it doesn't change the fact that Beale was here months before that. So that'll be an interesting one to see how that gets spun should the result go Celtic's way. But apart from that, yeah, Rangers are at a very kind of weak point as well, such as Celtic. So we need to take advantage of that. As for how they'll play, this is a very unknown entity that we're heading into here against Rangers, because it's the first time that we've taken on this version of Rangers. Of course, the last derby under Michael Beale didn't go well for us. We lost 3-0. It was very poor, but this is a much different Rangers side. You know, in derbies over the past 4 or 5 years, we've spoke about Morelos going into it, as useless as he was in derbies. We spoke about Morelos, we spoke about Ryan Kent, and how his performances against Celtic could always be a bit tricky to deal with. We spoke about McGregor and his saves. We spoke about the likes of Glenn Kamara. All these guys are gone, and there's a lot of new faces in at Rangers. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this new team approaches the game. I'm kind of lost in terms of how to predict where the game will go tactically, because both managers have had such a lack of tactic, it seems, in the opening exchanges of the season. One thing though, heading to Ibrox, that we need to avoid is those ropey starts. It always seems like you're going to be in for a long day should you give away an early goal or even allow a lot of chances in the early stages of the game. And I hope we can just calm that down and dictate the tone of the game for ourselves. Now, I know that's very stereotypical. We say that every time we head to Rangers and to Ibrox. But genuinely this time round, I think we need that. None of this just side-to-side passing, though, and not doing anything with it. Like, do something with the ball, but make it your own game. Dictate the tone and the pace of it through your own tactics, rather than letting Rangers get an early goal and then create an uphill battle for ourselves. That would be the worst thing that could happen to start the game. So, yeah, we need to take advantage of a poor Rangers side, even though we've been poor. And if we make the game as easy as we can from the early doors in it, then I'll be confident as the game grows. Right. Team prediction. I'm going to try and run through this very quickly because I've already spoke for quite a bit on this game. I'm going to put the full team up beside me on screen, and that's what I'd be going with tomorrow, or what I think at least the manager will go with. I'll talk about a couple of things that I'd maybe want to change after I've went through my predictions. So Joe Hart, of course, in goals. We didn't sign another keeper. No mistakes tomorrow, Joe. Nothing stupid. You need to be on your top game, and I know you can be. Back four, Johnston. Obviously, he's back from injury. He has to play with Phillips and Lagerbielke at centre half. Yes, it's a baptism of fire from that Phillips, but he has to start this game tomorrow. None of the Liam Scales options or anything like that are weighing up to Moki. Phillips, we've brought him in for a reason. He's here to fill a void until Cameron Carter-Vickers and Mike Nawrowski are back, so I expect him to be in the team, and Lagerbielke, of course, too. So a solid performance from them, hopefully, and hopefully Nat Phillips shows that he has maybe a future at Celtic. This is a big opportunity for him. Greg Taylor at left back, of course. We didn't sign another left back, so Greg Taylor for now. In the midfield, I've gone with McGregor, O'Reilly, and Bernardo. Yes, the new boy, Paulo Bernardo. And people will be like, oh, well, you're going to throw him in straight away? You think he'll be thrown in? I think he has to be, without Rio Hatate being there. David Turnbull hasn't done enough in the opening few games this season to prove that he's going to be effective against Rangers. I think he's been too slow, and I think that's really hurt us moving forward at times. I like David Turnbull, and I think he could have a really good season under Brendan Rodgers, but I just wouldn't take the gamble starting him tomorrow. I don't know. Just watching it at Parkhead, it just feels like at times in the middle we've seemed like we're missing a man. And you can't afford that against Rangers, so we're probably going to be playing with quite a bit of intensity tomorrow. So I'm bringing Bernardo in. Yes, you have the option of Odin Thiago home as well. But the way I look at it is Bernardo is someone who's meant to be of good quality. And if we're going to see him at any point, we may as well see him tomorrow. It is a risk, it is a gamble. When we could play home, but both of them are new signings, so I think it's 6.5 a dozen. I know Holmes had the advantage of playing a couple of games for Celtic, but either way, someone out of the two of them would be making their derby debut tomorrow, and I don't see why it shouldn't be Paulo Bernardo. And in the front three, I've gone for Abada, Kyogo and Maeda, which a lot of you might be questioning, why Maeda, why not Palma, and I'm going to come on to that for a minute, but I think this will be the three that he starts. I personally want Palma to play, because I think Maeda has been struggling over the past couple of games, but I think it's going to be Maeda. Rangers have looked incredibly slow defensively. I think that they look quite easy to catch on a counter. They just look sluggish. They don't look as though there's a lot of pace there, and use Maeda's. That's the best way to counter that, isn't it? Maeda's the fastest player out of both teams. So that's why I think Rodgers will go with that. Kyogo and Abada, of course, no brainers as well. But that's the 11 I think he'll go with. So, Luis Palma, should he start tomorrow? I think he should. I just don't think he will. Now, people might be saying, well, you think Bernardo will start, why not Palma? And I just think it's because Maeda has proven himself as a Celtic player, and he can be trusted. I know he hasn't been great recently, but I'm not saying there's no chance of Palma starting. I just think I think Maeda is going to do it. I think Maeda is going to start the game. So that's why. But if there was a chance of Palma starting, I would want to see it taken. I'd want to see him play. I think he'll come on in the game. I think we will see him. but I just don't think he'll start. And that's why I've gone with Maeda. I think that it's easier to drop David Turnbull for Brendan Rodgers right now than it is to drop Dyson Maeda, if that makes any sense. So finally, score prediction, God. Listen, this time last week, Celtic fans were not looking forward to the derby, and I was fearing that we could get scalped. Then you watch Rangers midweek and you go, Christ, maybe we'll scalp them. But I think it'll be close, because I think both teams have been quite poor to start this season. I'm going to go for 2-1 to Celtic. Look, we should always be wanting to win. We should always be aiming to win. And there's no point in being in it if you don't think you're going to win it. So I'm going to go 2-1 Celtic, and hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. Right then, that does it. God, we'll be back following the game tomorrow, win, lose or draw, to react to it on the channel. So make sure to check that out. I hope you all enjoy. I hope you have a good Saturday night. Stay safe and all the rest of it. And hopefully we're celebrating a win tomorrow. So yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.